Hello there, and welcome to our series on test taking tips. Today's focus will be on objective tests. Objective tests are looking for something very specific. They're looking for a certain right answer. And this could be on a multiple choice test, a true false, could be even a fill in the blank, matching. That type of test is what we're talking about here. So when you get your test, you want to first of all scan it for the number of questions and to see if any of the sections are weighted. If some are worth more than others, then that's where you want to spend your time. You want to concentrate on the ones that are weighted in a heavier fashion. Budget your time accordingly, and please read your directions very carefully. Sometimes a misread direction can result in disaster. Then you might want to consider answering the easiest questions first. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, you're going to gain points quickly. And number two, you're going to gain confidence. You're going to start feeling good about this testing situation because you were able to answer those questions quickly. Now, if you run across an unfamiliar word and you're just puzzled by it, don't give up hope. Look for context clues within the question itself. Something there in the way the sentence is worded may clue you into its meaning. Also, you may find hints in other questions that relate to that same topic. Another thing you can try is to estimate an answer before you look at any of the answer choices. This is especially effective if it's math. You can work out the problem quickly, come up with an answer, and then look to see if there's an answer close to yours. You can also use the process of elimination to rule out one or maybe even two answer choices, and that helps you narrow down your selection to maybe 50-50 chance of getting it right. And often your lengthiest answer is the correct one. Now, objective tests can be tricky because they have often some traps set to catch an unwary person. So I want you to watch out for absolutes. Words like always, never, none. These are what we call absolutes, and in the real world, they don't happen all that often. So they're probably an indication that the answer is going to be false. Another trap might be the none of the above answer choice. You want to be certain when you select that one that none of the answers can be true. There's some more traps, such as the all of the above. You want to select that only if you're positive that each of the answers listed there is true. Now, I've had people ask me about changing an answer. If you're tempted to change an answer, I want you to avoid doing so unless you're absolutely positive. Instead, trust your instincts. Up to this point, you've been preparing well. Hopefully, you've been doing the 5-day plan that we talked about in another series, and you've been studying all along. So you're confident of this material now. You're well prepared. You've studied adequately. So trust your instincts and don't make that change unless you're absolutely certain. Now, we're going to come here to the subject of math for a moment. And I can relate to a lot of these images on here because math was, not my favorite subject. And if it's not your thing either, I want to just give you comfort and letting you know it's going to be okay. So take a deep breath with me. Woo, inhale in, and let's proceed to the next page. Here's some math hacks for you. First of all, be sure you arrive on time and bring everything you need with you. Check your bag in the morning. Do you have your pencil? Do you have your calculator? Do you have batteries for the calculator? Maybe you're allowed to bring bottled water. That's a good thing to bring along with you. And perhaps you're even allowed to chew gum. If so, I would recommend that when you're studying for your math test, chew a piece of gum that you like, a flavor you like, and then on test day, bring that same type of gum with you, that same flavor, and chew it as you're testing. There have been some studies that have shown that people who prepare ahead of time chewing gum and then go into the testing site chewing the same gum do really well. There's some kind of association there, mental, subconscious, whatever it is. It seems to work for some people, so it's worth a try. Now, as we mentioned earlier, quickly scan the test to see if there are any weighted sections, and you want to apply your best efforts to achieve the most points as quickly as you can. And here again, on the math section, try the easy questions first, the ones that require only a couple of steps. And then if you come across a problem that's giving you difficulty, don't get stuck on it. Just take a deep breath, come back to it later, allow your subconscious to work on it a little bit. And again, you may find some hints in one problem that will help you on another one. And this was the same thing we had mentioned in the general objective test earlier. So don't freak out. Just, set that difficult one aside for the moment. Continue your test, and maybe you'll find some hints that will help you, and you can come back to that. Now, here are a lot more math hacks if you want to take the time to look at these, read them carefully. I'll just talk about a few of them here. One of the ones that a tutor, one of my colleagues, used to tell his students was to put the word problems into your own words that make sense to you. It's like a kind of a jargon that you use and you recognize what those terms mean. Put it in your own language. Another suggestion is to, draw some pictures in the margin, draw some diagrams, do anything that's going to help you figure out that word problem. Also, another colleague of mine who is a tutor for the TEAS test always reminds her students to write down the steps of the problem as you're working it. Put them on paper, even though you can figure it out in your head. Put the steps on paper so that you can refer back to it if you need to. If you're not sure of an answer or you think you made a mistake, you can quickly look at those steps and verify that they're correct or that you did make an error, and you can quickly correct it. Another thing I want to suggest is, don't look around the room. Try to stay focused. It doesn't matter what anybody else in that room is doing. You stay long enough to get your job done and done right. So don't worry about other people. Now here's some final tips. You have been preparing in advance. Hopefully you've been working using the 5-day plan and you've been studying all semester. So now I want you to visualize your success. Picture yourself in that classroom taking that test and looking at the test and knowing those answers. Go in there with full confidence. You've earned that confidence in yourself. You've been preparing, you've been studying. So when you sit down on test day, take a few nice deep breaths. Inhale the good, and exhale the bad, and then you are ready to start. And remember, you've got this. Thank you so much for joining me today for the tips on objective tests. I hope you'll come back and join me for other sessions as well. Keep checking our website to see what's new. We will be adding new study tips and new sessions on different subjects throughout the semester. So I hope you'll join us again. Thanks a lot, and goodbye.